Alright, welcome back guys to the next segment of the New Gaming Order podcast. Now we're about to switch off into, pop culture, like movies and other stuff that's happening out there in the world. And, we're kind of taking a sidetrack off of gaming for a while. We'll kind of bounce back into it within PSAs, but they ain't shit on the internet for us to talk about. So, NGO Playboy, talk about what you wanted to say about the Apollo movie, about Apollo's son, and new images of Batman vs. Superman, you say?
Yeah, it's on Entertainment Weekly. There's the new, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Aquaman supposed to make some sort of in Batman vs. Superman?
No, he's getting his own movie, but it's Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is going to be Aquaman.
Okay then. All right. Other than that, the Apollo Creed movie, I'm kind of, it's kind of Rocky. It's starting to get like Terminator to me. It's like almost every other year there's something dealing with Rocky or Terminator coming out. Just stop.
Well, I think that's a problem in movies a lot nowadays, right? Everything's a remake or a reboot, right? Like Transporter. Did you see the new The Transporter movie trailer? So Jason Statham is not the Transporter anymore, apparently, and they have a new guy. So, but again, it's a movie that came out 3 times already: Transporter 1, 2, and 3, and now they're doing it over with the Transporter, and I think they're doing Hitman again too. So they're just making, and they're just remaking all we're getting now are just remakes. Nothing new besides Pixar. They're making new stuff, and some people are doing things, but there's not like a lot of originality right now.
Yeah, isn't Spider-Man getting rebooted again?
Yeah, they have a new Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man is being rebooted, but it's going to be Peter Parker in his high school years.
Yeah, and the dude looks like he's like 12 years old.
Yeah.
Now, I heard he's going to have a cameo in, the next Avengers movie?
Yeah, bring him back.
Now, is it going to be this new guy that's playing him, or what's going to happen with that?
It should be the new guy.
Fantastic.
Okay. Hold on one second. Alex apparently gave me something to read about with something I didn't really want to talk about, but we'll talk about that for the PSAs. I have the article pulled up here for that. So
we don't need to know about his extradition orders. We already talked about that.
Yo. Oh my God. What was I gonna say?
I had to get that out. It was for the time.
Oh my God. Alright, let me bring up something else since we're talking about randomly about like the Batman and Superman movie. Do you think there will be any game in the future, whether if it's Rocksteady or anything, to bring out probably an Injustice fighting game or anything related to Injustice?
I'd love to see Marvel vs. DC.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately we'll never get that, but I don't think they'll do anything with it. I don't know if Injustice was successful enough to continue doing anything with it. I mean, I may be wrong about it. It probably did have pretty good sales or whatever, but I don't think the game was that awesome. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It was like a bootleg. It was Mortal Kombat with DC characters. So what we really want is DC versus Marvel. We've been waiting for something like that for ages now. It's probably well over 15 years, and it's well overdue. So if Disney could get their shit together and DC can get their shit together, maybe we could finally get that and get Capcom back in the mix to make that happen for us.
Well, it looks like Injustice Gods Among Us sold 424,000 copies its first month in 2013. Only game to sell more than 250,000 that month, so I don't see total numbers.
Yeah, so again, that still doesn't sound awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's got good scores, but it just didn't sell.
Right. I don't think it's something that people are looking for, right? I think if you announce a DC versus Marvel, man, that game will probably sell millions on the first day.
Well, good luck getting them to agree on that.
Yeah, but
it would sell millions. But I think comics is changing. We're in a weird place, man. Do you guys see that? Like, there's a big push. There's which I think is good. They could have started with doing new characters, but there's a big push in diversity over at Marvel. So a lot of the stories are changing. Like there's a Black Robin. there's like a group of Robins. There's a new Robin series with a group of Robins. There's a Black Spider-Man. Like there's a real push over at Disney for like change and more diversity in their comics. So that might change. That might change a couple of things the next couple of years from a movie, entertainment, and game perspective.
Well, no. If anything is like what's going on with the Fantastic Four reboot with Michael.
That's exactly what that Fantastic Four. The way that is exactly a result of the diversity that they're pushing
right
at Disney, which is overall good. I wish they would start with new characters and kind of not rehashing the old stuff.
Well, it's kind of hard to make new characters. I mean,
but DC passed on Static, so there are original IPs out there with characters of color as the main protagonist or whatnot. But so Static is the one that comes to mind. Remember the cartoon show with Static?
Oh, Static Shack. Yeah, I remember Static. Yeah, the lightning ball.
Remember how Jaden Smith was supposed to quote unquote play him?
No.
And this was years ago. Now it's just like the show, the cartoon show is over, and people now like saying, WTF, man, what happened? They passed on this great IP. And also, there's a lot of grumblings about Hal Jordan versus Jon Stewart, Green Lantern. They still going with Hal Jordan versus Jon Stewart, which is the Green Lantern that people know most of because of the cartoon show. But I digress.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, there's not a lot of new IP with the comics because the artists don't really make much off a new IP that's owned by Marvel or DC or whoever, and they don't get any piece of the action.
Right, correct.
So that's why you don't see a lot of new IP because there's nothing in them to make it. What was it? From Marvel, I think the newest character was made in the 70s. There hasn't really anyone new that really stood out. At least from what I understand.
Right. Let's see. What am I reading here? There's a bunch of random stuff going on. Apparently, Alex was mentioning that Rocksteady, the creators of the Batman Arkham Knight game, say they might be doing a Superman game based on the Easter eggs that were found in the game, talking about...
Please tell them not to make a Superman game. Superman games always come out terrible. Terrible.
And why is that?
I don't know. There's something about a guy flying around all over the goddamn place with superpower that they can't be destroyed. That's not, that's not interesting.
Okay.
I remember with Superman 64. Did you guys ever get to play Superman 64?
I played it a long time ago.
Yes, the Nintendo 64. I remember that.
Yeah.
Superman 64 was awful.
I think that was the worst game of that generation, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember a Superman game after Superman 64.
I played the other one for the PlayStation 3. I can't remember what that one was.
And it was probably terrible. You see, it's not memorable. There's nothing about them that are good. Nothing.
Yeah, let's see. There was a question from Boris_Johnson69. That sounds kind of fetchy. Are there any homosexual superheroes?
I think that's part of the whole diversity push too. They have that too, and they're pushing LGBT initiative. There's a big push over at Marvel specifically. I don't know about DC, but there's a big push.
One of them. What was his name? Angel. One of the guys, Angel, came out or something like that. Remember him?
Oh yeah, that's right. In the comics. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, well,
and they even gave one of Green Arrow's female psychics AIDS.
Whoa!
It's not as difficult for people to process if it's lesbianism, but when it's male homosexuality, that's when all the hubbub begins.
That is very true. Okay, let's see. We'll probably answer one more and then we'll close out this topic for something else. Alex was also mentioning that they were trying to base the idea premise of the Superman game, if Rocksteady does make it, for Superman of learning his powers as you play and probably limiting it to a certain extent so he can fight villains of a subpar on his level. I honestly think it might... It might not work even so, because as we all know, Superman is a god, and if you tone it down, he can't lose. I mean,
so this is Smallville the game, essentially, right? And that show
sucks too. It sounds like garbage. Tell Rocksteady right now, watch this video and do not make this game. Don't waste your time.
No, just play Superman 64 so you give up now.
Right. So like, you see what these are the type of things that that these developers do. They'll waste money attempting to develop this garbage when it could be probably focusing on something else.
Right.
That would be better.
Okay. And then Alex mentioned Superman Returns wasn't too bad. I actually hated that game.
Alex is a big fan of Superman.
Wait, how's Alex on the chat?
I don't know if you guys know this.
How Alex is on the chat when he was extradited to New Zealand?
He probably broke into someone else's house and...
Yeah, I mean, he was bullying on the internet. He can't have internet access. Alex, you're going to go to jail even longer now. You better hide.
He said it was like GTA, but you had other superhero games, like the Incredible Hulk game was way better than that, and that was a GTA-style thing. You had Spider-Man, which did it several times, and it was way better than the Superman game. You also had the Batman.
Just not good in video games, not good in movies, and not good in video games. Smallville was actually a good show. The Superman movie that came out was terrible. This guy basically flew around destroying planet Earth for half of the damn movie in the new Superman movie.
Jesus Christ, man. I
like Smallville?
Huh?
Smallville was good. No, Smallville as a show was good. Smallville as a TV show was good.
I haven't seen it, so I would not know.
No, you ain't missed much. It was all 10 years. It was, oh my God. No,
what I didn't like about the show was Superman was too much of a goody-goody, and I gave up a few seasons in.
Yeah, but you know what? They did good as a show. Him in Smallville as a high school student, whatever. That was good. Other than that, man, outside of that show, everything else has been terrible.
Yeah. Apparently, alright, we'll do this one last question ask, and then we're gonna end this topic because this is just dragging on too fucking long. Alex also mentioned again, what are they getting wrong with Superman? In your own words, what you think that is wrong for them to even attempt to make a Superman game?
Superman is not a good character for a video game, unfortunately, because he's a fucking god. And he cannot be beat. It's just you flying around, destroying stuff. Like, you would have to make a game where he's fighting Darkseid the whole time. You know what I'm saying? He would have to be fighting people like Darkseid or something the whole game. It's not interesting.
Or they have to do some shitty. They'll have to do some shitty mechanic where he loses his powers or something like that.
Yeah, like he can fly, he can do whatever. He has a laser blast. So, like when you play a Spider-Man game and it's open world. Like, they basically took Infamous, they took Spider-Man. Infamous was basically took like the Spider-Man blueprint, but Spider-Man was fun. There's something about Spider-Man that was cool. He could climb walls. He can, he wasn't flying all over the place or whatever. He had limitations. Batman has limitations. There's something about someone who has regular human powers with just some type of enhancements. Batman's costumes, his little gadgets, the detective stuff. That's cool, there's something more human you get to it somehow. Superman doesn't relate like that for people, and then when you play the games, it's kind of okay, it's all right. Like you're gonna fight villains, some regular guy's gonna come punch Superman because the video game they're gonna have to dull it down. They can't hurt Superman, so it's not interesting. But when someone hits Batman with a pipe or he gets electrocuted, he's gonna get hurt because he's a fucking human. And same thing with Spider-Man, although he has powers and stuff and he's stronger, he's not super strong. So if he gets hit, he gets hit. And he looks like he gets hurt. Superman doesn't get hurt. Again, unless he's fighting somebody like Darkseid or somebody.
Yeah.
That explains it all. I don't know how much more detail you can go into about Superman. I don't know.
Again,
video games.
Again, it's towards people's opinion. If they like the character, they're gonna fight it until they get something out of it. So
but everyone know, like, look, I know there's a lot of Superman fanboys out there. And I personally don't like Superman, but I do like video games. And every time I played a Superman video game, they were never, ever good.
I can agree.
Kind of being in fighting games, and that's it.
Yeah, I can agree. All right, so we're going to cut this topic to an end because this could go on fucking forever, and I don't want that. So, once again, guys, we're not getting